Hello and greetings to you wherever you may be on this beautiful planet Earth, the third rock from the sun. And guess what? Our home, if we look after it well enough. My name is Anthony Altman, and this is my video number 84. Today's date is the 21st of July, 2024. The title of this video is Change is the Only Constant. I've discussed this before in other videos. I'm putting my hands down here so that I don't start waving everything about, because my camera doesn't catch fast movements too well. And I have a virtual background. Oh, let me talk to you about the virtual background. It is flowers. And as we know, flowers start from a seed or a bulb, and they germinate, they grow, they are constantly changing, and they reach their pinnacle, and then they deteriorate and die off. When you look at nature, you see the beauty of nature, but you always see constant change. As the seasons change, the nature changes, the trees change color, and everything is in a state of flux. When any person, any human being desires to retard change, they suffer. You can only flow with change. And if you don't like what the change portends for you, then it is for us to change the way we think, the way we speak, and the way we act in order to change the consequences, the results of our thoughts, speech, and actions, thereby improving our life if we are able to improve our thoughts, speech, and actions. So the people who don't like change are the people who are insecure. They don't know what they're going to experience because they're not established enough, well enough within themselves, that they are like a cork on the ocean, just bobbing around, a leaf in the wind, just going hither and thither without any real idea where you're going. And this is not necessary. And I was about to make a video called something like The Transformation of America, because I've been watching what has been happening over the last week with the attempted assassination of President Donald Trump and everything else that's going on. And I'm ready to make that video, but then this idea came to me, and I'll tell you why. I post most of my, if not all of my videos on YouTube, and a few on Rumble. And I was doing a few, posting a few on BitChute, and it was just getting too much for me. And Rumble was just like a little unfamiliar, not so easy to post. And so I just thought, let me just put my attention on YouTube and everything's fine. Well, everything is not fine. And unfortunately, YouTube has a tendency to censor and restrict what you say and do according to their measure of what is acceptable or what is not acceptable. And Rumble does not impose these restrictions. And I thought, well, YouTube is really doing all right. I'm not saying anything out of the ordinary. I'm not getting political, and I'm not opening myself up to censorship. But as I am progressing in my own change, because I am changing, I'm beginning to talk about things that people don't want to hear. What is that? Essentially, positive change. There is a small contingent of people on this planet who do not want people to change. They want them to remain in fear and to remain limited, and they are thereby more easily controlled. And as long as those few, the large corporations and the political entities that are into this hunger, this lust for power and control, as long as they can make money out of the people, and as long as they are able to develop more and more power and control, they're happy. And unfortunately, the people have been hitherto quite slow in standing up and saying, no, thank you, we're not going to have that. So people say, well, you know what, let's just go with YouTube, let's go with Facebook, let's just do it. You know, we're just go along with it, and or the terms and conditions are so limiting, and they take the information, they record our personal information, they sell our personal information, they use it for marketing, and they're doing all sorts of things. And people say, oh, well, you know, I mean, who am I? I'm not really that important. You are that important. When you make some statement on any of the media, social media, within 5 minutes, you are receiving advertising resonant with what you have mentioned, said, or described, or informed everybody. They're selling your information. This is how people are controlled. So when you say, well, you know, I'm a nobody, I just don't have a big business, it doesn't matter. It does matter, because if your information is stolen, misused, mishandled, and you multiply that by billions of people, these are the people who are doing all the selling and all the nefarious activities. They actually make huge amounts of money. Big Pharma, Amazon, Google, look at them. Apple computers. It's time for change. It's time for people to say, you know what? I don't want to open myself up to be exploited anymore, because we are. So Google has started doing a few things, and it doesn't take much for me to see the signs. And I realized this a few years ago, and I wanted to change. And I thought I just couldn't do it for various reasons. I injured myself, and I'm slowly healing. And it was 6 months of pain and other things that I experienced, and I just didn't want to burden myself. But now I'm feeling a lot better, a little more piss and vinegar, and I'm thinking, right, this is a good time to change. So I'm going to put more attention on Rumble, rumble.com, rumble.com, rumble.com. And I've already started to upload videos, 80, 81, 82, 83. And this is number 84, and it's going to go on YouTube and Rumble. And if YouTube gets dissatisfied with me, it doesn't matter. I don't care anymore. And I would like to think that other people start thinking about alternative social media in case they are censored by Google or Facebook or whoever. And so Rumble is my main other choice for the moment. So this video is to inform everybody. So if you are not having much luck or success, or having difficulty accessing my videos on YouTube for whatever reason, go to rumble.com and then type in Anthony Altman, A-N-T-H-O-N-Y, Altman, A-L-T-M-O-M-A-N, and that will bring you to my channel. You'll see the horse with the hawk on its back, and it'll have my name. It's like, they call it a backsplash. It's like my heading, I suppose. And I'll have my videos there, you see. And you can subscribe. I would suggest you subscribe. The people, I've got about 50 subscribers at the moment on YouTube, and I would suggest that you subscribe on Rumble as well, because I don't know when the chop's going to come for me or whoever, anybody, from YouTube. But I do feel very strongly that in the light of what happened in America this last week, anything now is going to happen very, very quickly. There's going to be a huge backlash, and everybody who is wanting to maintain their control and power and money over the people, power over the people, will do whatever they can to control the people. And it's up to the people to say, well, I don't want to be controlled. I don't want to be restricted, so I'll go somewhere else. This is what I'm doing, and I'm saying this to you so that I may plant the seed. So let me talk philosophically now about change. The only constant in this third dimensional realm of a polarized duality is that everything changes in the physical form. The only thing that does not change is energy and consciousness. Although energy can change its form, but it cannot be created or destroyed. The same thing with consciousness. These elements remain intact, but everything else, your house, your car, money, your body, all this changes. And it is constant and it is guaranteed. And yet everybody puts all their investment in the physical world and no investment or very little investment in developing their human potential, which is far greater and far more substantial and far more permanent than anything in the physical world, including consciousness. So if we as human beings develop more of our human potential and consciousness, that is not going to change, other than improve, increase. But it will never be removed. Whatever you have achieved will remains your possession, it's your sovereignty. I think my cat wants to go out. Excuse me for a moment. Well, that takes care of Arthur the cat. He required some food, and he's outside. So change is the only constant in this physical world. And I urge all and sundry, everybody, to consider developing more consciousness and more of their innate human potential. Their lives will never be the same. Their lives will improve. There's no doubt about that. And when it's time for us to leave this body, we are able to take that with us. Everything in the physical world remains here for other people to fight over. It doesn't make sense that we spend our entire life accumulating whatever wealth we want, and then we can't take it with us. It doesn't enrich us. In fact, I'll be honest with you. In my travels around the world, I have met more happy poor people than happy rich people. Now, what does that tell you? Money doesn't provide you with happiness. Consciousness provides you with the happiness, developing more of your human potential. And then those people with more consciousness who may have lots of money will be able to use the money in such a way that they are happy. You cannot buy happiness. Amazon doesn't sell happiness. There's no special today on buying happiness. It comes from within. And this is why there's change, because change offers us the opportunities to develop more of our potential so that we can be happy, that we can be loving and harmonious and live in peace with each other. So thank you for joining me on this road of constant change being the only real constant. Another road less traveled, I'm afraid. Let's change that and let's make it the road the most traveled. Until next time, I thank you. Bye-bye.